Good evening, everybody. I'm hoping everything is properly set up as far as the tags and the quality are concerned. Looks like we've got Against the Storm, and we shouldn't be tagged as a mature stream. However, I do need to sneeze. Excuse me. So this is going to be a little bit of a change of pace. Long-term viewers will know what's coming up. But I do also realize last week I said I would be doing some more Terra Invicta, which I enjoy very much. But there's two things that are true. Number one, I have been meaning to get back to Against the Storm, and specifically back to Against the Storm on Fridays for a few weeks now. And I have really noticed that there's always just something to kind of get into the way. And part of that has actually been because I've been having a really hard couple of weeks, and I particularly on Friday, it's nice to just have some stuff that's a little less intense to deal with, and I'm honestly feeling like that right now. Um, Now, in Terra Invicta, again, I tremendously enjoy that game, but we have actually just gotten to the point where we're building some new ships, and I've got a few other things that I need to handle, and I was sort of reflecting on the two facts that, number one, it's going to be a bit more involved for me, um, when I come back to Terra Invicta. But number two, just the fact that I keep putting off doing Against the Storm. I sort of felt that I could use a bit of a break, for lack of a better term. I like Against the Storm a lot. I think it's nice to sort of get out of my, how do I put it, like to get outside of a routine sometimes and get a fresh perspective. And more importantly, they've been adding things to Against the Storm. So I've been wanting to play this for a while, and I thought maybe as a nice way of recovering a little bit of the energy, or just a little bit of you know some momentum, or at the very least just kind of helping me forget the nonsense that I've been dealing with over the last little while. I figured that it would be a good time for me to do another Hooded Horse game. And again, that doesn't mean that Terra Invicta is going away, and that doesn't mean that this is going to be the only time that I do Against the Storm, but I kind of want to start dealing with my sort of timing and my my like by timing I mean like the time that's available to me, and the things that I want to do. I kind of want to start treating those as they actually are, rather than as I would like them to be. And honestly, I just feel like, it's been a couple of months since I've wanted to play, or since I've last played Against the Storm, I feel, and it would be nice to get back into that. So that's what I'm doing. Modifiers update. In this update, we will introduce 8 new world map modifiers inspired by a recent community brainstorm. We will also introduce numerous UX improvements. The most notable of these are the effect previews for retroactive cornerstones and trade route UI changes. We also rebalanced a number of orders and fixed a lot of bugs. Favoring update. This update introduces changes to the favoring mechanic and to settlement logistics. We've also added a new Glade event, the Altar of Decay. There are also numerous balance changes to cornerstones and events, as well as some UI improvements and bug fixes. Rainpunk update. In this update, part 2, we expand the Rainpunk system by revamping the Rain Collector and adding new events, forest mysteries, and cornerstones. We also improve the balance of pipes and rainwater, add numerous UI improvements, and introduce a new building, the Advanced Rain Collector. Rainpunk Update 1. This update features a brand new game mechanic called Rainpunk, as well as a long-awaited overhaul to the Blightrot system. You can now collect infused rainwater and utilize it in rain engines to boost production in your buildings. But beware, this new technology might cause a lot of trouble in your settlements, so your blight fighters better be ready. Training Expedition Update. Test your mettle and improve your skills in the new custom game mode Trading Expeditions. On a Training Expedition, you can choose any set of starting conditions and customize game settings. To unlock custom games, upgrade the Obsidian Archive in the Smoldering City. Camps Update 2, we're introducing overhauled visuals for camps, new cornerstones, changes to newcomer caravans, and numerous UX improvements. The Ancient Hearth and Warehouse's positions are now different every game, and you can manually set a building's internal storage limit. Camps Update Part 1. try out the new small camps and experience the new balance of biomes and glades. Small camps are available in every game and can gather small 1x1 resource nodes. We've also introduced a wide array of changes to rewards and perk balances, as well as numerous UI and UX improvements. So this might have been where we finished. I don't think we had a lighthouse, though. Discover new glade events, place large decorations, and complete brand new deeds. We also introduced balance changes to the Scarlet Orchard and multiple UI improvements based on community feedback. Royal Archaeologist update. Earn generous rewards for unearthing ancient skeletons. We introduced new unique biome mechanic and visual remap of the Scarlet Orchard. A new essential building is now available when paying in the Scarlet Orchard, the Archaeologist office. The update also includes multiple fixes and improvements inspired by your feedback. The Mines update. Delve into rework mines and invest resources to reach their deepest levels. Mines can now be upgraded and ore deposits are depletable. We also present numerous fixes, UX improvements, and balance changes. I also feel like I've benefited from this, but we'll see. What else? Haunted Ruins, new events in the forest. Strike a shady deal with the Trickster, or rebuild Haunted Ruins to gain access to more powerful versions of buildings. This update also brings with it numerous UI improvements. There's definitely a few of these where I definitely feel like I've got a few patches back of things that we've already done. And looks like there is a new update scheduled for this week. So updated every 2 weeks. So I should be playing this a lot more than I actually am. Now, the only other thing that I can say about this, I do kind of want to look at the roadmap, but I also recognize we're getting around 5 or 6 minutes in without having played. I'm gonna have a little bit to learn again in terms of playing the game. I just kind of need to shake some of the rust off. But if I recall correctly, we actually had a new cycle go by, so I think we'll be starting fresh. Oh, looks like there's one. We've founded Red R. Okay. So, we can try and go for mysteries. I can try and take advantage of the Royal Outpost. So the proximity of a Royal Outpost makes it easier to communicate with the Crown. The pool of order choices will increase by 1. This does look like it enhances my ability to claim food. So generally I've kind of wanted to invest in the highest return areas that I can. So we've got sort of 63s kicking around here. In theory, no, that doesn't quite work. So that would kind of mess up my plan to sort of fit everything. Here's what I'm going to do. Let's try here. And then we've got our bonuses. Okay. Marshlands, a harsh, cold land that has been claimed by many different and extremely resilient species of fungi. The ground here is extremely hard and rocky, making it difficult to farm. However, it is also famous for its abundant fauna and insects. So right now we're at 14 reputation and impatience. That'll change based on the difficulty, but I need to figure those out. Punishing. I don't think it says anything else. Okay, so Marshlands are a gatherer's paradise. Gathering speed is increased by 10% for every 2 workers assigned to your gathering camps. Giant organisms. The marshlands are home to enormous life forms. Giant resource nodes can be found in forbidden glades. Each glade will have a different one. Okay, so the lack of farmland is a problem, but we'll work around that. I have the choice of 8 lizard people, or basically 9 population total, 6 harpies, 3 beavers, or 8 lizard men altogether. I'm slightly more inclined for the larger number. And then the question would be, what do I want to bring along with me? Well, 2 of those can go into newcomers. I tend to like having lots of people to work things. So off of that, what else would I want? I only have room for 1, so The eggs or the roots are probably the most helpful here. I'm starting with eggs already, so let's add the roots for variety. Okay. So then, I've not beaten it on Viceroy yet, but I tend to lose a lot with Viceroy. If I go to Pioneer, more reputation required to win, but it doesn't have the Blight Rot. So I feel like it's good for me to go for Veteran. But again, Viceroy I feel is maybe a little too difficult for me. And then obviously there's a locked one later. But yeah, I think this is something I can work with. Oh, also, sorry, I should have said this before. I am doing this, so one big reason I'm doing this is Monday has sort of unofficially become, we might as well make it official. I'm the one who decides officialness or not officialness. But I do want to mention that Hooded Horse very kindly gave me a key for Against the Storm. So obviously they're a publisher that I'm really interested in. I've loved covering their games. But with that in mind, it's important to recognize, I have been given a key for promotional purposes. So if you're making a buying decision, just know that there's that thing of value that was given for the purposes of the stream. Again, sorry to do that, but actually I should be more apologetic about forgetting to do that at the start. But again, I'm dealing with a tricky couple of weeks. So officialness is very important to many of you. How you doing, Algorins? All right, so we've got Strange Visions, Forest Mystery conditional. They offer inspiration for open minds. Villages with this effect have a 20% chance of doubling the yield with each production cycle. Okay. People need housing. So Looming Darkness, Rampaging Storm stifles the spirit of all living creatures. An additional stack of this effect is added for each hostility level. So Global Resolve goes down while the... Wait a minute. This should only be during the storm, though, right? Creeping Shadows, discovering a glade during the storm will decrease Global Resolve by -10 for 3 minutes. So once Hostility 1 moves up, I want to be careful about when I grab certain glades. Human Climate, humidity in this region is unbearable. Fuel efficiency is 25% lower. This effect scales with Hostility. Okay, so fuel's going to be a challenge. Swarms, constant bites and cuts don't really hurt that much, but certainly are annoying for those without proper protection. Villagers with this effect have -2 to their resolve, and to prevent it... Okay, so housing's definitely a number one priority. And alluring lights. Those lured by the lights may not come back. It's better to keep people focused and occupied. Villagers with this effect have a 5% chance of perishing every 15 seconds. Jesus. And we need to fill services. Okay, so once we get to Hostility 6, that's a freak out time. But we have options available to us. Now I got to figure out how this works, because obviously these numbers are different from what I was expecting. We've got 10 beavers, 5 lizard people, and 5 harpies. So I'm not 100% sure how that translates from sort of the first set that I worked with. But again, we'll work with what we've got. My usual routine is to chop down as much area that's sort of in range of the hearth as I can. We should also try and go for the early glades, just so we know what we're working with. So we have a woodcutter's camp here. I'll worry about the roads and all of that later, but this is a good start. And I guess it's houses. So we've got 15, 20 people that we need to house. Of course, shelters are good for 3, so there's going to be a little bit of give and take. Okay, that's 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. $20. We'll work out the details with the wood afterwards. Now there's definitely some other buildings that I should put down, particularly for gathering, and actually maybe we just start with that right away. Is it only the trappers camp then, I guess? Obviously things have changed a bit. I should probably be working on these human and beaver houses as soon as I can as well. Well, basically specialized houses for everyone. But I don't want to bite off more than I can chew. I'm already committing my people to a lot of stuff, so. Okay, that'll give them something to think about. The Queen's Envoy, your renown grows. You can now choose from one of the available blueprints that the Queen offers you. Well, maybe let's not do that until... we know what our orders are. Oh, shame on you all for doing the roads first. So get the beavers working on those as soon as possible. Alright, so basically we're short on wood, that's fine. We've got the largest number of people working. Actually, we have enough for a third camp. I think that would make some sense for me to throw one down. Alright, Queen's Envoy. No one can weather the storm alone. The Queen offers you a cornerstone that will lay the foundation of your town's prosperity. Choose wisely, as you won't be able to change it. We can go for Vineyard Town. The settlement specializes in wine production. Gain +1 beaver resolve for every 70 wine produced. Flame Amulets, an artifact infused with the power of the Holy Flame. Hostility from woodcutters is decreased by 8. That's a big one for me. And Grain Bag, specialized grain farming techniques. Grain production increases by +1 every 25 times it's produced. The challenge here, of course, is that we're likely to have less farmland, so I think the Flame Amulets work very well for what I want to try and do. Okay. How do we go from... Oh, sorry. Right. We have 6 beavers. My god, I am a fool. Yeah, so I can afford to destroy this. It was resolve that I was looking at, not the not the number of people I have. So we've got 1 lizard, 7 harpies, and 6 beavers, which means I'm building too much. So we've got 14 people. So that's 18. That's more than enough. So we will cancel this one. So 3, 6, 9, 18. Sorry, what did I say we had? 14? I guess for a start. How you doing, Tiberiosity? For those of you not familiar, Tiberiosity... I'm not familiar with Felucia, I'm sorry. But Tiberiosity is another broadcaster. You're doing, you said, was it Star Wars Age of Rebellion? That's a tabletop game, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, that was the last thing I saw you doing. But I honestly don't know what it was that you were doing. I just know the name of it. All right. There's our orders. Okay, so what are we up against? The Crown sends you new orders, Viceroy. Pick one and the rest will go to the other settlements. So one of the things about this, I've tended to notice that when I win, I usually win with almost this single-minded pursuit of a victory like this. Now, there's a few things that I can use to try and angle this to my favor. So, for instance, I tend to notice simple tools wind up being very helpful with certain glades and such. We've got a trading post and 5 amber, so it's very likely I'm going to build a trading post no matter what. However, if I were to go for the woodcutter's objective, I get new arrivals. So I think I'm going to pick this one because it gives me more people to work. Ah, gotcha. And for this next one, complete any 2 dangerous or forbidden glade events. Now I think, again, that's something I'm going to do on my own. I can get newcomers if I go for 3 harpy house and lizard houses, though. And honestly, this is something that's pretty something I want to achieve anyway, so we'll stick with that. Finally, our third objective, the one that gets me new arrivals, would be complete any 2 glade events. That one's table stakes. So 3 fairly straightforward orders for us. And the nice thing here, right, is that each of these are going to translate to some new blueprints once we complete them. Oh, tabletop RPG. So obviously we already have the woodcutter camps. It's more a question in terms of getting the wood, but I'm going to hold off on that because we have a bunch of stuff we need to build first. And clearly right now the people are just not being put to work. So right now I'm interested in seeing what's behind these glades. I think what'll happen here, I might move this woodcutter's camp right away to open up the next glade, whereas this one I might keep around. Well, I don't know. We'll see what it looks like once. There we go. All right, so we've got leech broodmother and grasscap mushrooms, and here, okay, so we've got copper that we can mine. Nothing too special though so far as events go. So, at this point I want to be thinking about, alright, what are my main goals here? Well, one, right now I am looking to get some more wood, and the wood is going to sort of enable production on my end. So actually what I'm going to do here, I'm going to highlight all of the wood that I need to... basically this is just going to ultimately be the place where anything that requires connection to the ancient hearth, I'm sort of painting that right now, and a lot of the placement of my different woodcutters camps is going to be determined by this range. So for instance, there's a bit of overlap in the middle here. One of the things that I can do is move this particular camp, improve the coverage for the for the cutting, but it also gives me access to another glade. And then I'll, make a slight adjustment as far as the roadway is concerned. Yeah, we'll start with this. How you doing, Tikri? As much as I can, I'm trying to resist choosing new buildings because we don't know what orders are going to come up. So right now I'm interested in just building buildings that will allow me to collect what I need. Hang on. I think the lizards may have... Yeah. So lizards have a slight bonus for working these, but I only have one lizard. Okay, so we're finishing the work on the Stonecutter's camp. Who holds back the electric car? We do. And in this case, we've only got harpies to work the stone gathering. You get paths for free, so I'm pretty much just paving everything that I can get access to. Now eventually we're going to move this building off to this area for some meat, but right now this is all about just grabbing whatever I can. One thing that I may want to focus on next is, given that we want lizard and harpy houses, the lizard house requires bricks and cloth. Human house. Well, we don't need to worry about human houses. Oh, that's interesting. We don't actually have the harpy house, so I should have thought that through. But the one thing we are going to need are planks. So I can actually get those under construction right away. Or can I? Maybe not. Okay, so it looks like I'm gonna have to build some building. Okay, that's fine. We'll start by requesting, or turning in the woodcutters. So we're at, what is it? That's 15, 16, that's 3, 6. Okay, definitely need another shelter. I can see the herbalist camp making some sense. Now, the trapper's camp is actually the thing most directly relevant to what I'm trying to claim right now. Yeah, I'm going to put trapper's camp here for the simple reason that if you take a look at the conditions, we have meat and eggs which appear under natural resources, whereas with the herbalist's camp we just have mushrooms. We don't see berries or herbs. So how you doing, Mecha Paladin? Different change of pace. Obviously you're new, so Against the Storm is a really neat little sort of a roguelike city builder, I guess would be the best description for this. But this is something Hooded Horse gave me a key for way back when it first came out. It's in early access. I've been having a lot of fun with it, but it's actually been a couple months since I recently played it, so it felt like a time for a bit of a change of pace. But I am kind of getting used to how it worked again. So I suspect that this maybe I should have put a difficulty level lower, because I have a feeling that there's going to be hell to pay. All right, but yeah, I think I'm going to go for the Trapper's Camp here just because under natural resources it fits 2 of the resources we're looking for. Okay, next up, Weaver makes a lot of sense because we're going to need the fabric for the building I need, but we also need plant fiber for that. So the other option would be leather worker. I do also need bricks. I'm going to go for a weaver against my better judgment. Cookhouse is pretty much a requirement for me, I feel, as much as I want the brickyard. Oh, and lumber mill is the thing we were looking for. Okay, so we've got our work cut out for us. So let's start with a lumber mill. To build that, they need bricks and fabric. Okay, so with that in mind, let's think about where we're going to get our bricks and fabric. I guess it's the crude workstation. I'm gonna hold off on any more of this extraction for now. I think we're just gonna let the city sort of run with its usual thing. It's glade events that I mostly need to worry about. But okay, so we could use the weaver for the fabric. I'll build the weaver now, but I have a feeling, yeah. Well, okay, at the minimum we need 2 fabric. I guess we use the leather there. The management can be fun, but this is definitely... I'm remembering how... One of the things that becomes a real stumbling block on this is if you don't handle the... Okay, so one thing we want to do here is cancel the logging near the glade. Wow! They're already below 0 for the resolve. Should probably build a trading post before too long. But yeah, no, this game can definitely creep up on you in terms of just in terms of how quickly you can sort of find yourself out of an important resource. So one of the things I'm going to do here is I need to get that trading post up so I can sort of trade for the items that I need the most. I'm just trying to think what are some of the other things that I can do right now. So 2 minutes before someone shows up with goods. I'm going to say we'll stop producing bricks for now. Okay, we got a few things coming up. So, newcomers. These people have been sent here by the crown. Which group do you want to stay, Viceroy? The other will continue on to the next settlement. So, we can go looking at the total number of people. Sorry, just a second here. So both of them will give me 4 bodies to work. Beavers are always nice, but we get 1 for both of them. So the question is, do I want the variety of 2 harpies, 1 beaver, 1 lizard man, lizard person? What is the actual name for this? We'll find out in a bit. Alternatively, I could go for the lizards and 1 beaver. One possible determining factor would be the number of parts, because that's going to determine the buildings that I can build. I actually think I'm going to go for the parts here. 1, the variety is nice, but maybe equally importantly, I feel like I feel like the how'd I put it? Like having the people to work the tiles is one thing. Being able to build buildings that they'll actually make use out of is another. So I feel in this case here, being able to invest in the parts probably is a good idea. All right, what am I going to try and do here? Oh, find a new order. Oh no, that's Cornerstone. My bad. Okay, economic migration. Rumor has it that your settlement is one of the wealthiest in the realm. Newcomers will arrive 15% quicker for every 2 levels of standing you have with other settlements and trade routes. The bonus is added retroactively. Deserted Caravan, global production is 50% faster, but trading is unavailable. Definitely can't do that. And Woodcutter's Prayer. If you want to take, you first must give. +1 to all wood production, but lose all stored fuel upon picking this cornerstone. We have a lot of stored fuel, so in this case I'm going to reroll. Alright, Calming the Forest. Every 2 newly completed dangerous or forbidden glade event lowers hostility by 50. That'll help. Overdiligent woodworkers. Some woodworkers just can't stop working. Gain 3 barrels for every 10 planks produced. And Work Safety Guide. A standardized set of rules. Every 5 villagers with a need for education fulfilled will increase global production speed by 25%. Let's go for Calming the Forest in this case. So we're building shelter for my workers. So we can afford to start chopping down way to the glade again. And one thing I'm particularly interested in is making sure this woodcutter's camp has something to do. Once all of this is cleared out, and let me just make sure they're not going into that dangerous glade. But basically, once they're done all this work, we're going to get them working on the smaller glades. So I have a few idle workers right now, which is not a good place to be in. So I'll start getting the beavers working in the lumber mill. This group really isn't doing anything, so let's stop pretending. So I've got 7 idle workers at the moment. Now we can gather mushrooms easily enough. Just making sure there's no plant fiber. What are the things we can make? So we want plant fiber, leather, or reeds. So put the herbalist camp down just so that we can collect the mushrooms. Again, this is just a function of the fact that we've got a lot of idle workers right now. It is actually slightly tempting to go for another wood camp, even though even though kind of all my beavers are currently occupied. So, trading for fabric if I must. So fabric costs twice as much as leather. Well, hang on, let's see. So if I take a look at the crude workstation here, so we can get 2 fabric for every 6 leather used. Well, it's not quite true. So we use 2 leather to produce 2 fabric. So it's actually only slightly cheaper to buy the leather over the fabric. And then I guess the question here is, what do I give in trade? So the best for me is to do this, but now I need to come up with 10 in exchange. We don't have a lot of refined goods right now to make these trades. I think probably I'm just gonna have to accept that now's not a good time to get this trade done. Give you some Phantom Brigade or Battle Tech and you're a happy clam. No, who would have guessed with a name like Mecha Paladin? Yeah, no, this game has actually got a lot of really interesting things going for it. It's very funny that if you forced me, I would say, SimCity is a great game. Give me that, and I'm very happy with it. And even the old school ones, right? But overall, I just think SimCity is a really great idea for a game, and it's one that probably it's hard to say that SimCity's been ignored. And yet I still kind of feel like there's a lot of room for SimCity-like games still. And of course, you could do that. The reason I'm specifically saying SimCity is because, of course, we now have City Skylines. That's getting a sequel, of course. But one of the things that I've noticed is that we've got a lot of simulation games now. And I think that's, for the most part, quite a good thing. But one of the things that I find kind of funny is that with the increasingly elaborate simulation games, I sometimes feel very paralyzed in terms of choice and just complexity and all of that. And to a certain extent, that was true for SimCity. I'm pretty sure the first time I sat down in front of some variation of SimCity, I had no idea what the hell I was doing. And yet, I feel that it was straightforward enough to interact with that there was some enjoyment I was getting out of that. And what I've tended to notice is that games... So it's funny that I sometimes work counter to what popular opinion seems to be. So it actually feels like people really like these open-ended experiences that don't have... you just kind of go off and do whatever you want. And I sometimes actually find it quite challenging to get into games like that. Generally, if you impose a bit of structure on me, I tend to find that more enjoyable. So I couldn't quite wrap my head around survival crafting games until I played This War of Mine, which was wonderful, and then Subnautica I also felt did a good job of it. Actually, sorry, that's not true. Terraria was another one. But if you notice, those are ones that have sort of single-player experiences that, if you just want to sit down and play that as a game, there's enough stuff that it sort of puts in front of you to be able to, I mean, if you want to ignore it, you can, but basically, if you want a more traditional, here's level 1, here's level 2 experience, those games kind of give you that. And so this brings me back to sort of the city builder or the sim. I think with the increasing complexity of these games, I want to like them, but sometimes I feel a bit paralyzed, or at the very least I feel like I need to do a lot more homework than I'm willing to do for a given game. And in the case of Against the Storm, I think one thing that's nice about it is the way the roguelike elements work. If you fail, you haven't spent an entire evening like investing in this failure, which is good. Like it gives you the opportunity to sort of succeed or fail at a given settlement, and you just roll into the next one, right? The same way that hopefully you don't freak out a whole lot if you lose a battle royale. You just roll into the next game. But so it gives me just enough motivation to sort of get my production lines up and think a little bit about how I'm doing things. But it gives me just enough freedom in what I'm doing that I do feel kind of more or less happy with certain settlements that I build. Like where I can, where I feel comfortable, I like to put a little personality in the settlement. So I don't know. They've done a good job balancing things out. I also tend to notice I always feel like I'm about to lose just before I win. So that's another nice feature. Okay, cut through the forest to discover four glades. The only drawback here is it doesn't give me more population. If I find 50 roots, I get 5 beavers. But I don't think I have... I think I'd prefer the 4 glades, to be honest. And then probably I'm going for this one, but... Oh, hell no, yeah. We'll do the 2 forbidden glades. Oh, don't worry, Mecha Paladin. I'm feeling a bit low today, so there's nothing important you're gonna miss out on here. So the harpies are good at collecting the fungi. That's good. No worries. Sorry, for those of you who can't see what's being typed, I'm just telling Mecha Paladin all is well. I hope they're doing okay. All right. So for now, I'm just going to take it easy in terms of the settlement. That does mean that I'm going to lose a little bit of time, but I think just allowing us to collect things in preparation for taking on some of these dangerous glades is probably what the doctor ordered. Also, it's nice to just get some space. Oh, actually, there's a couple of details here. So, we won't worry about the crude workstation. However, I can start thinking for a little bit. So I'm also going to wrap myself up in my blankets. Oh, by the way, I got a little bit of bad news from a friend of mine today. So it looks like the locksmith's dream, which I'm going to take a minute to put a link out for here. I have a feeling that probably I think there's a bunch of people here who want to go to this, but whether or not it's affordable or that is another question. But it seems like they've had to cancel the May event because of sort of a lack of take-up. So with that in mind, I should just mention to everyone, like, they are conscious about that concern. So if they feel like an event's not gonna work out, they will make sure that people are shifted into one that will work, or they're gonna cancel them. Generally, I think they want to cancel things before they run into that situation. But yeah, in this case here, it does look like their marketing efforts have plateaued a little bit. And it's a shame, right? Because it's obviously a very premium experience, right? I totally get you on that, Takri. But one of the reasons why I wanted to shout out the Locksmith's Dream here is that I think it's a really interesting thing that they're doing. And if you look at the reviews that it's gotten and such, it actually does seem like a really worthwhile event. So one of the things that I just wanted to do to encourage people, if you can, get the word out on this thing. And part of that is just because, it's very costly. But this is the thing, right? You need a small number of people who can and want to spend that kind of money on an event like that. And of course, if you don't get the word out like that, then it's just not viable. And unfortunately, this cool thing can't happen anymore. So, again, everybody's got something that that they want you to spend money on, right? There's no shortage of people who are performing a service, and everybody's got to make a living and stuff like that. I absolutely have no intention of pressuring people. And I mean, more importantly too, like, the fact of the matter is, if people don't find it worthwhile, right? If for whatever reason the Locksmith stream doesn't speak to them, then, it's like, it's unfortunate, but like, that's the reality of the event, right? Like, anytime you do something creative like that, there's always the risk that there isn't an audience for it. But I do get the impression here that one of the big challenges is that there are probably a bunch of people who would find that a worthwhile event. And it's just a question in terms of how you let people know about something along those lines. So if you get a chance, and you feel like spreading the word, it would mean a lot to me if you could. But I also kind of recognize, like, I am technically the influencer here, right? So I fully appreciate that people have already kind of put in the effort in terms of letting people know about the event and such. But I did just want to mention that. I wish I had better news about it, but hopefully another push will bring people into. We'll bring in the people who are interested in going to it. All right, looks like we're about to break through into a glade. So we're not doing a dangerous glade yet, but I'm trying to get the low-hanging fruit while I can. A snake nest and a small abandoned cache. So we usually send those off to the Citadel. We've got enough simple tools to do the job, so we'll assign a couple harpies to that. And we still have 3 people left over, so I think I'm going to set up another... I think we can afford to have another, not woodcutter's camp, but a trapper's camp set up. Oh, actually we can do a big one. Even better. Okay, so Stonecutter's camp's out of deposits. I feel at that point we can just demolish it. I'll wait till the trappers... I should have canceled that, because if this is the same camp... I should just move it. Close enough. Oh, right, but I think I said I was going to put down a second one anyway for this stuff. We'll figure it out. Okay, now we don't have the simple tools for this yet. So which of these orders gets me the simple tools? Realistically, it has to be the 4 glades. The problem solver's not quite gonna cut it. And once this little area is done, we're going to move the woodcutter's camp again to clear out another small glade. Again, I'm resisting the urge to take the dangerous glades. Oh, actually, sorry, there's one small change here. We'll lose the harpy, we'll add the... Okay, housing. So I can definitely put down some beaver houses. We can put down a total of 4, in fact. That'll free up some space in the for the shelters here. Although I probably should build before I replace. We don't have any humans, so next we would need the lizard house. That's going to involve bricks and fabric. Okay, so we want to avoid finding any new glades. All right, so also we've got what we need. We've got what we need for this woodcutter's camp, so we're going to move this one deeper into the woods. Actually, that's not quite enough to get to the glade that I want, but we can make some initial progress. Okay. Might as well ditch the scouts here. Just trying to think how else we might be able to help out with the resolve here. Once this gets chopped down, I think what I might do is I might actually chop into this dangerous glade for a start. Not because I really want to, not because I really want some kind of trouble, but I don't want to have to move this this woodcutter's camp again. I'm also very conscious about the harpy situation here, so I think we're going to wind up losing the harpy pretty soon. There we go. So we're in danger of losing lizards now, but 29 seconds, everything's going to get back to normal. Hey, Vanguard Master, how you doing? Okay, we'll stop the favoritism for a bit. And new arrival. Oh, no, sorry. Cornerstone. Peasant supplies, 3 packs of provisions for every new villager. Exploration contract. The Royal Academy wants a detailed map of the region. We'll supply anyone willing to help. Gain 20 reed and 20 clay for each discovered glade. Almost certainly going for that. And gain an ancient tablet for every 2 completed glade events. Also tempting, but I want the exploration contract because that is going to help me out with my fabric. So, simplify things a little bit. We are going to make a move for. We're going to make a move on the dangerous glade. Okay, so these things are always trouble. Alright, the once mighty tree has been deformed by the blight rot living in its root system. The blight rot poisons the tree's tissues, leading to its long-lasting degradation. So in 10 minutes, the blight rot feeds on the tree's valuable nutrients, making new cysts much more resilient. Cysts burn for 5 seconds longer. I'd rather not have to deal with that. Oh, Jesus. Alright. It pains me to do so, but we are going to use planks for this. So while we try to solve this, trees communicate with each other through their roots, making the forest aware of your every move. Spawns 1 blight rot cyst for every 120 seconds for every 1 dangerous glade discovered. Penalty is added retroactively. Okay. This is the first dangerous glade that we've discovered, and I am going to send it to the Citadel just because we do need we need to knock back the impatience and we need to add more Queen's Grace. This is going to be a bit hair-raising, but... Oh, what else do we have here? You could do with a payday. Yeah, I can understand. Yeah, I'm gonna say I suspect Vanguard Master would be happy for just making a living. I have a feeling that most people who are making games are probably quite happy to learn, or quite happy to sort of derive some sort of reliable income from that. Obviously, we were just talking about something which didn't turn out. If you can give me a quick second here, I kind of need to go to the bathroom. I realize it's just been an hour, but I'll maybe try and take the opportunity to get some tea. And then I also have a message here I suspect is probably going to be very stressful. So I'm just going to deal with all of this now. So then I'm not going to be constantly distracted during this this session. I'm already kind of feeling like I'm not phoning it in, but I feel like I'm phoning it in. So I'm going to try and, and just clear my head a little bit. Also clear my bladder, sorry. And we'll be back for some more Against the Storm. So I'll see you in a little bit. All right, I really appreciate all of your patience. Also, I have no idea why there's, I think, twice as many of you here for my break screen as when I went away. So I owe a number of you an apology just because of making you all sit around and wait. I'm definitely getting reacquainted with the game here, but we're going to do our best. Also, I see the sneaky Olaf T. Harry has come into the channel. A wonderful human being who I'm always very happy to see online. So, I know you don't want too much attention brought to you, Olaf, but I really do appreciate you being here. So I thank you, and I hope you're doing well. I feel like I need to find out a way of, I feel like I need to find a way to kind of keep in touch outside of streaming stuff, because sort of our usual social network is sort of disintegrated, and I feel it's usually better, if possible, to try and keep those ties. Either way, I really appreciate it. What else were we talking about? Oh yes, Vanguard Master's fallen in the water from high up before. So for those of you wondering, Vanguard Master's day job sort of involves being in a crow's nest with a dagger between his teeth. Actually, I guess former day job involves being in a crow's nest with a dagger between his teeth, and sort of during the choppy waters, occasionally. It doesn't quite go according to plan, but he will take all of those experiences and put them into a very focused and very interesting looking. I don't want to say Bannerlord, so if I said Bannerlord clone, that would come off as very dismissive, which it's not intended to be, but inspired by, elaboration of Bannerlord might be the better way to put it. Obviously, the intentions are something much, much bigger, but I think that's kind of where the project is beginning to sort of get a little bit more focused and sharpened up right now. And I still owe you your pitch deck, Vanguard. I'm sorry. I also owe somebody a big video, which didn't... there was progress on the weekend, but not nearly enough, so I haven't forgotten you, but I am really struggling right now. On that note, actually, also, I owe you a thank you to Kree, because obviously you've been such a big supporter of those YouTube videos, and I appreciate you being sensitive to the fact that I'm just a basket case right now. So having someone kind of come in and say, hey, take the time that you need, is good when it comes to my streaming stuff. I'm sounding like an Academy Award presentation, so I'd also like to thank the Academy and Twitch and all the rest of you, but we are actually going to play this wonderful game that is more than just background noise for me. And Olaf, regrettably, I do not have coffee right now because I got to be in the office tomorrow. So if I have coffee now, I'm going to get a lot of programming done, but I'm not going to get anything else done. And no shoes either. True. One of them red striped shirts. So beavers aren't bad to have, but I get the same number of people. I will also get leather, but I need the simple tools now, so we will grab the newcomers. I do, however, need to build more housing for the beavers, so... Fair enough, Tikri. Let's investigate now. Okay, so more importantly, we are also at a point here with the woodcutters camp. We can afford to sort of move out and start claiming some of these smaller smaller glade. So let's move that. I read an interesting article on role-playing, actually, which made me think of some of our conversations. Well, for what it's worth, Olaf, it's Yorkshire tea, so it's kind of from your neck of the woods. Okay, what's the deal here? Right, okay, this is about the tool, so... I always thought that was just like a British thing. Like I didn't appreciate. And now, like I am aware of the spiffing Brit, but I didn't realize like it was such a. I didn't realize it was kind of synonymous with his brand. So. I actually had someone get like mad at me, and this is like someone I personally knew. I was actually kind of cross at them for responding this way, but. There's someone who got after me because, like, I'm sure most of you know that I have sort of this trollish tendency to just say dumb things for the sake of saying something dumb. And I'd sort of said, oh yeah, the spiffing Brit, he's that guy who copied the whole being British thing from you, isn't he? Now, like, obviously I am not trying to start some sort of a grudge between this guy and the spiffing Brit. They did actually know each other, incidentally. And that was one of the reasons I felt it was okay to say that, because who in their right mind could possibly think that that is an effort to try and cause some sort of trouble? But I definitely got told off for saying that. So, there you have it. Okay. Light rot cysts appeared. I just don't know if that's going to be relevant to these buildings. I remember this thing used to generate blight rot, but I should probably build a blight post before too long. Actually, why not build one of those right now? But yeah, anyways, that was an education. More orders. So, open 3 caches of any size found in the forest. I think we can pull that off. We can definitely pull that off more than the bathhouse. 15 aesthetics decorations. It'll be tight. We might actually be able to fulfill the need for clothing, but I think I'm going to go for the aesthetics. But yes, in any case, I originally sought out Yorkshire tea because of something Patrick Stewart had said. And I'm like, oh, well, if it's good enough for Patrick Stewart, I should give this thing a try. And then when I visited the UK, I spilled 10. 10 may be too much. I actually don't know what the right number is for this. But we'll get harpies on fire duty. Okay. The herbalists... I don't think we've got anything that the small camp can handle. Anyway, sorry, what was it going on? I was going on about tea. But I think I said everything I needed to say about tea. But yeah, anyways, when I visited the UK, it was like the only tea that was available, and it was pretty darn good. And then there was a sale at my grocery store to like give me 1,000,000,001 points for ordering hot drinks. So I stocked up and I have like 4 or 5 boxes of either Yorkshire tea or Yorkshire Gold. And now you know more about me than you ever could possibly want. I don't think I want any of this crap. I need more money before I do any of this. Which reminds me, I might want to put some rain collectors down. I got too many people idle. Something moved the number of... Oh, yes, we completed the withered tree. All right. What are we looking at here? Now, I could re-roll to try... So I might be able to build simple tools out of wood and copper, because we do have a little bit of copper. I think I'm going to try a reroll here. I was really hoping for a harpy house. I'll go for the smelter then. So I guess the question here is, do I actually have access to a mine of some kind? Maybe we'll wait on that. What I will do is I'm going to move the woodcutter's camp to a closer spot. I'm also going to see if I can maybe improve that road a little bit better. I know this is wasteful because I'm going to tie up people moving it. Okay, I got to think about what I'm going to try and do here. So we're working on the blight rot. I need to open 3 caches. The way I will open the 3 caches is by getting simple tools. We currently have 2. We'll get more as we get dangerous glades. Okay, so let's get these 3 or 4 glades that are immediately available taken care of first. Then we'll consider another dangerous glade when the time comes. Lizard houses. We need fabric and bricks for that. Oh yes, I should also be able to upgrade the ancient hearth before too long, but let's worry about that in a little bit. So basically I want to build 2 lizard houses, which are, that's a total of 4 bricks, 4 fabric. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go 4. Sure, we can build you out of reeds. We've got more than enough stone, so not the best ratio for trading, but it's enough. We can also build an apothecary. I'm inclined to recover this. We'll maybe wait a while, though. I do also want to be conscious of when the storms are rising, because we can't have we basically can't uncover new glades when the storm's going on. I believe that increases the hostility. Okay, small encampment. So if we give up some vegetables, actually fungus is probably the best option. We can send to the Citadel for 10 amber, or we can get 2 new arrivals. Now, as it is, the amber is actually probably going to help me the most here, so we will do the small encampment first. Not the normal choice that I would make, but in this case it makes a little more sense just because I'm actually having some trouble putting the people I have to work. And of course the amber will allow me to buy some new items. This may be a tough one as far as the rain's concerned. Yep. Now, presumably at this point, the Blade Post squad should be... Yeah, there we go. I think at this point I'm just gonna build the lizard house. I won't worry about trying to fit it inside this block here. Oh, I also have glade events to fix. Oh, should have been paying attention there. We lost a harpy for no reason. Okay, we got a few things to deal with, but first... Problem solver. Deserted caravans. Global production is 50% faster, but trading's unavailable. Cooking steam. If you leave rainwater for a while, it will begin to release a pleasant and warm vapor. Food production speed is increased by 10% every 50 units of drizzle water. And work safety guide. None of these are really that helpful to me. Let's go for cooking steam just because that has even like a slight chance of working. Okay, let's see if we can get a harpy house. Okay. I thought I made some kind of a... Yeah, I made a cookhouse. Okay. So we probably want to put the cookhouse down before too long. So jerky, skewers, biscuits. And apparently most of my people like running around without clothes. So, God, what am I gonna do? I'm trying to think how to make the resolve go up so I can get some of that ticking. I live in a pretty cold place to create. I'm happy with my clothes. Like a bakery's not a disaster here. Okay, I'm gonna re-roll to see if we can get the harpy house. Thank the maker. Okay. And it's just fabric that we need for that. I'm going to annoy a lot of people by doing this, I know. So I need 6 of these. Not quite enough. More importantly, we can start chopping down into glades again. Oh, heaters, blankets, and cut, of course. We can definitely tell who's the affectionate one and who isn't in the stream. I think I'm probably just as liable to scream, "Get away from me!" Okay. So now we want to start thinking a bit about comforts for people. So skewers are a likely candidate. I can't really see the biscuits working because we can't get a source of grain. And we need flour for that. But mushrooms... Ooh. What happened to all our eggs? I mean, I'm lucky that we got a couple here. Okay. But it's clear I'm gonna need another trapper's camp. Also, we should be able to upgrade the hearth, I would imagine. Or does that happen automatically? Okay, so we want 15 aesthetics. We might as well get working on those sooner rather than later. These are going to be a little more arbitrary in terms of placement than I would normally like, but... yeah, can put down 2 night ferns. Okay, so again, we're going to send the harpies. What else are we looking for? Waiting for this to pass. Okay, so we've got 8 tools. This is the first cache I can work with. Let's, I'm not 100% sure how I feel about this, but let's go for the abandoned cache. Let's also put into the wilds. So we can get a kiln, a scribe, a cooperage, or a guild house. What's most directly related to the things that I'm going to need? Thing is, the guild house is only going to make the beavers happy. The cooperage at least lets me build the training gear. So I think I'm going to go for that. May not make use of it, but at least I have the option. And I'm not going to worry too much. Oh, wheat. Okay, so we can build that mine, hopefully construct some tools when the time comes. There's another glade. Yeah, in this case, I think we're gonna send this stuff to the Citadel. And we can bring in... parts are nice, but I think we're going to add more beavers and harpies in this case. I do have the option of chopping down more wood if I have to as a result of that, but in this case, let's get a clearer idea of what's going on before I go too far. Okay, so the clan hall is tempting here. So the clan hall is tempting because of the brawling and religion. Now I think it's just brawling that I'm going to be able to work with. But so brawling, clan hall, training gear gives me brawling. We have the cooperage. Where are you, cooperage? So with stone, I think... Oh, Jesus. I gotta find a new source of stone. But yeah, with stone and planks, we get training gear, and that... Basically, that'll satisfy the brawling need for both the lizards and the harpies, which means that in theory we get that ticking reputation to help us out there. Okay, what else am I looking to do here? Right, sorry, first of all I need to make a choice, so we will go for the clan hall. Next up, mine. Also, we have a bunch of homeless harpies. 2, 4... That's still not going to be enough, I don't think. How did I get that wrong? And for some reason, I've also got a bunch of beavers that don't have homes. I have not been managing this well. Okay. For some reason, I haven't had people working the trapper camp, so that's another problem. And finally, the mine. I'm hoping I didn't block too many things off of that. So I'll worry about aesthetics in a little bit, but for now I think we need to kind of need to get on the we need to finish our improvements first. Okay, so homelessness will be dealt with. I'll be able to provide people some food soon as well. Clearance in 10 seconds, so storm's coming soon. Maybe we go for... this might be a mistake, but... I'll take a pass at another dangerous glade just so we can get Risky Expedition finished as well. Okay, this is good for collecting... No, that's coal. Well, there's a chance that we get some stone. Doesn't matter though, because unless we somehow can collect coal, it doesn't actually get us anything. So, in practice, that's going to mean we probably need to risk a few more dangerous glades. But I feel the best way to handle the dangerous glades is by completing the existing tasks. Also, if I've got 10 simple tools. Can I do better? I'm not sure. I think it was the scribe that let me build. Well, the tools needed the copper bars though, so... yeah, I think we're stuck with what we've got for now. At least until we get another building. Well, I guess with a smelter I can produce the copper bars. Good news is I don't have homelessness anymore. New order. Fulfill villagers' need for cleanliness 60 times. That's not happening. Ale's not happening, so complete trade... Oh my god! I don't think any of these are going to work, but at the very least the trade routes I have a fighting chance of doing. So what's the deal here? We've got the Smoldering City. 9 roots and a pack of provisions. 11 waterskins, pack of provisions. Pigments, ale. So maybe I can do waterskins. Maybe I can do pigments. Yeah, I'm thinking that's just one we're not going to fulfill. We can, however, work the apothecary. So I might as well rebuild it. And we are a minute away from the next storm, so I'll probably cancel this, but... Oh, but I do have a stone deposit, which is nice. And then I keep threatening to build a rain collector, and I never do, so... Okay, so I think we just get that out of the way. So yeah, how am I feeling? Overall, I mean, we've been able to push back the Queen's impatience by quite a bit, which is good. The problem is that it's not entirely clear to me what the game plan is for sort of crossing over to a win, right? There's only so many orders that I can perform. So let's just say, for the sake of the argument, right, that I... So, like... Other than income tax, let's just say that I'm able to finish the remaining orders, right? So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's 3 blocks here. 1, 2, 3. That implies 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more blocks that I need to get. Large abandoned cache, assuming that I get enough tools, will be sufficient to make that 4, but then it still invites the question, where do I get the remaining 4 points from? Possibly from the resolve, right? I can definitely play favorites with people over the next couple of periods, but I definitely have a lot of work ahead of me in terms of making this all work out. So, first thing I'm gonna do though, it would seem to me that I want at least enough to be able to open up the large abandoned cache. I probably should be investing a bit more in these. But let's start with something simple. I don't even know if there's something else I can pick up for this. Let's just do a good old-fashioned trade. Does mean, however, I can assign a couple harpies to send this off to the Citadel. It would have been nice if I could have broken into the dangerous glade here. That way I would have known to buy more actually, you know what? These do kind of wind up being my lifeblood. What's the high value stuff I can trade? Copper bar I might need. I can sell them parts. Doesn't really do it, does it? Let's try and sell him some planks. So obviously that's a big assumption that I'm going to be able to find more of these abandoned caches, but the abandoned caches are going to be what... they're going to be the thing that gives me my win. if I get a win at all. I might try the same trick that I've done before by switching around the treatment. The other obvious step is to start filling the place with some aesthetics. Yeah, no problem, Vanguard Master. I hope you have a good dinner. Or whatever it is you're having. Maybe it counts as breakfast with where you're at. Go for lighter treatment on the harpies. Maybe not. Okay, cool. All right, we made it. And we can turn in aesthetics. Trade logs, detailed notes on different traders and their wares. Gain 1 additional active trade route slot. Traders will arrive 25% quicker. Vineyard Town, +1 to beaver resolve for every wine produced. However, we're not producing wine. Grain bags, grain product. Well, let's do trade logs because that actually gives me a benefit. All right. So yeah, one of the things I may want to consider is fulfilling the skewer and brawling service. Well, at the very least, let's do aesthetics. We should get a new building fairly soon. Yeah, let's get that clan hall up. So we need some bricks. My God, this is huge. Okay. Okay, so harpies want education. Lizards want religion. Now, I think we have some way of... maybe not. Oh yeah, we can make scrolls. Okay. I'm going to do a Hail Mary and pick up the temple because of the religion and education. I don't think I'm going to be able to make anything of it, though. Okay. Now, ancient shrine. Jesus Christ. All right. I I really do not want to be using my tools this way. An ominous shrine from a long forgotten era. It's dangerous, but it might hold some ancient knowledge useful to the crown. Curse of the Forefathers. Disturbing the ruins of the great civilizations can have grave consequences. Kill 5 random villagers. So, we don't have the incense. We don't have anything but tools. I do not want to lose 5 random villagers, so we're just going to throw the tools and claim our half for the Citadel. I don't know if I want to give up any more mushrooms. Yeah, you know what? We'll wait on that. Good news is, we do at least have some runway as far as the Queen's impatience is concerned. It's just the question as before, how many, how much am I really going to be able to do in terms of gaining reputation? Likely doing more dangerous glades will probably help us with that, but I do need to make sure that I actually have, like, I have the things that I need to fulfill the objective, otherwise I'm done for. Okay, new bodies. The mushrooms are actually more helpful to me than the pottery right now, so we will bring these people in now. It does mean that I need to build more harpy houses. I'm actually running out of space. I think I can get... Okay, actually one thing I can do... No, I can't move this. Alright. Hopefully this works. So you can kind of see how I'm mismanaging things by the fact that I've got 7 idle workers right now. Okay, my rain mill is the best option I have right now. I'm gonna get a couple things out of the way. First of all, let's get that rain collector down. I don't think we have enough parts. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to start demolishing a few things. This, for instance. I feel like we should be able to rebuild the bathhouse. Well, actually, you know what? It's probably better that I salvage it. Okay, that's going to be good for grabbing some more stone when the time comes. I wonder why the bricks haven't been made yet. Nope, they're working on it. Alright, we're making something approximating progress. Let's chop down a path to this dangerous glade. Let's see if we can make something happen out of that. So we're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, still 5. Technically 4 if we can find another cache to open, although I think we've definitely used up the tools. Okay, I don't mind that the I don't mind that the mine is out of... Okay, did we just screw ourselves? Damn it. Okay, 54 seconds, we're gonna get 25 pigments. Okay, pigments don't help, I need cosmetics. Nah, doesn't do the trick, we still need to use these. Okay, buried riches. What was once taken must now be given back. All stored amber and wine will be lost. Jesus Christ. Okay. And cleanup duty, 1 impatience point. So that's if we don't do that in 10 minutes. Working effect, robbed dead. The scent of your wealth makes the robbed spirit angry. You get -5 global resolve for every 10 amber in the settlement's warehouses. That's going to be for 430, but I believe we have quite a bit of amber. Yeah, we've got 65. So, like, that's going to be a meaningful number for us to contend with. It's like -30 for 4 minutes. So the question is, am I able to sustain those kinds of resolve losses over that period of time? And then the next question is, what do I do to get around it? Honestly, there's no good option here. So let's just grit our teeth, assign the most people that we can on it, and go for the investigation. Yeah. This is gonna sting. So we are gonna lose a lot of people off of this. Down. I'm wondering where these other scouts went. Weather's not helping. And our remaining orders. Okay, we're just gonna wait a little while on those orders because I may just lose off of this flat out. Okay, definitely need to add more bodies to make this thing stop. Okay, now I gotta start pulling people off of other tasks. Okay, we're out of people to work this, but we'll wait it out. 1 minute. This was a huge mistake. We'll see if we pull it off. Clearly we're going to need to reorganize the workforce after this. Okay. Oh. Not quite done yet. What on earth was I thinking? Seeing their fallen kin has taken its toll on the village. Okay, we just gotta leave this be for a bit. Let's get that morale back up before we go too far down this path. The negative effect is in 7.5 minutes spawns 2 pieces of living matter. Okay. Over-diligent workers at this point is kind of tempting. Strange roots spread across the land. Wood production is increased by +1, but harvesting and planting are 25% slower. And for every 10 completed trade route, yeah, let's do over-diligent woodworkers. I've got a trader, so we can buy some tools. In this case, we'll go straight for... Yeah. That works. I should have actually seen what the orders were before I did that. 3 dangerous glades, 2 glade events. Why not? And I'll try this one. Okay, so realistically, what do I think is going to happen here? We need 1, 2, 3, 4 more on reputation. Okay, so we can turn that to 3.5 just by working this, but we're gonna get a hit to the beavers, so we're gonna need to wait on that for a little while. So now I need to come up with 3.5 more in terms of citadel. Oh, interesting. Okay, so now it would be 2.25 that I need to come up with afterwards. Then it's 1. Okay, this is we potentially can do this. It's just a question in terms of whether or not I screwed myself by doing this one so early. So yeah, I've got the simple tools that I need. Let's first of all assign... Okay, so now I got to start taking a look at all my industry and make sure it's doing what I want. I'm not that worried about the fact the lumber mill's not working right now because I think we've got like 101 planks. Yeah. So I can live with that. Weaver, I'm okay only having 1 worker in there right now. Yeah, the only real problem right now is there's just not a lot of idle people for me to be able to make the different events work. I need at least 1 body for the... Well, we don't need that many stonecutters if we're cutting back, so we'll get them to work on the rest of the task. Okay, and now that the beavers are at, they're at like a positive number and it's greater than 10, now we're going to get somebody working on the fallen beaver traders. I'm slightly worried as to what... Oh, hang on, that's if we don't do this in time. So let's find... You know, we don't need that much... We don't need stone collection right now. We do need to deal with the dangerous glade, so... Okay, so I should be able to turn in open caches. We will get past this dangerous glade event. I need to unlock 2 more dangerous glades and complete at least 1 of the events. Obviously, we're not going to do that right away. And one thing I'm going to do is move this up. We'll at least get the easy glades dealt with. And if I can, we will get the large abandoned cache. We're probably gonna have to wait a while on that. Should probably... So I don't feel like I need to worry that much about... I think we can salvage this for the reeds. Well, no, rebuilding it's not that bad. How are we for reeds? Yeah, we're doing fine for reeds, so we will rebuild. Turns out there was some farmland for us to work as well. Okay, this is the last building that I'm going to be able to get. So, the scribe will allow me to produce scrolls and simple tools. Seems to me... Or we've got the herb garden for roots. No, I think we go for the scribe here. We may not use it, but I think it's my best shot. So, in practical terms, I want to think about where... bring in more bodies. Okay, so, again, we want to think about how we're going to win this thing. 2 points for reputation. Half of it's going to the Citadel already, so it's 1.5 points that I need. I can get 1 if I can get 16 simple tools. We are currently at 11, so I need to find 5 of those. And then it's just a question of completing the remaining orders. But whether or not I can actually make that happen is another question. But assuming we don't get hammered too much during the storms, I think we are actually in a position where we may be able to win this thing. I do, however, want to be a little more thoughtful in terms of some of the different actions that I'm taking. So, for instance, being able to get these different glades at a time when, like, you know, there's not that much going on, that helps me, and I should be trying to do that a little bit more than I have been. We've got a bunch of idle workers now too, so let's make sure we're loading people back up. Maybe we won't worry about the beaver quite yet, but I feel like one of the woodcutter camps was shorted. Yep. Okay, we should have gatherers, or trappers. There's a forager's camp. I don't think there's anything for them to pick up, is there? Apparently there is. There's definitely something here. Okay. I'm not quite ready to use the clan hall yet. Age of Sound Deer, how you doing? Where am I going with this? Okay, so we're getting our remaining glades for Master of Exploration. As it happens, I actually think we're going to complete the glade event, so it's really just a question of opening the dangerous... Oh man, actually that does open a few possibilities for me. Okay, so let's count this as... Okay, I'm actually going to let this play out for a bit, because it may be that I actually just need to open the dangerous glades and I'll be able to win off of that. And if that's true, I want to make sure that I time it right. Because obviously if I don't time it correctly, then I'm going to wind up with just like a world of hurt in terms of just different events that I need to handle. I'm going to take a second here and move the lumber mill up. So again, this is just so I can access these glades a little bit faster. Okay, so that's a half a point towards the reputation. So again, if we get... Here's the idea that I'm thinking of, right? We've got glade events which are done. I've got 3 dangerous glades that I need to open. Now, of course, those dangerous glades are going to have tasks of their own to be handled, that I need to handle. Now, I can get the reputation as long as I can get a few more simple tools. We're 5 away from what we need there, but I don't have a way of building simple tools. I actually need to trade for those. So, the idea here is that if I unlock, if I unlock the 3 dangerous glades, that's all well and good. That gets me the point, but I need to account for the remaining 0.75 reputation. Oh, thank you, Aegis Under. I feel like there are probably better philosophically inclined Twitch channels, but I do like, at least as far as I can, I like to engage with the games as far as they'll allow me. So one of my earliest and fondest memories, this actually relates to Old World, which is another game that we were playing on the Mondays. I really love playing Civilization, and I played Civilization before I really understood like what a lot of this stuff was, right? But like when you're a kid, like pyramids are just interesting on their own, right? And so essentially it was, I play the easiest possible setting, just tool around, move my little mana on the map. But there's only so many times like you can build a hoplite and not wonder what they are. And the wonderful thing that Civilization did is that if you read the Civilopedia, like most of the writing has nothing to do with the game mechanics. Like some of it does, like maybe a quarter of the entry the last time I checked. And like the remaining 75% is dedicated to the history of this thing. And I really like that feature because what it did was it sort of planted some seeds that would grow later on. On the note of philosophy, actually, the game Alpha Centauri did a really good job of this because it's a science fiction game, and so the approach that they sort of took was to sort of use philosophy instead of history as sort of the grounding. And that's still present in games today. So Old World does something kind of neat in it has a lot more events, and when an event is tied to a particular when it's tied to a particular either historical moment or an idea, it will link you to a website, sometimes Wikipedia, sometimes something else, but it will give you the history that is it'll give you the history that formed the inspiration for that event. And its most recent DLC, The Sacred and the Profane, obviously has a lot of the... Well, not obvious. From the title, you might be able to guess that it has a lot of sort of the religious, religious figures. And, I mean, again, I say religious, but obviously the lines are maybe a little bit more blurred around that period of time. So you'll have everyone from Paul to Hypatia inside, inside of that DLC. So yeah, it's it's just another way of engaging with the things that I enjoy, and I sort of feel like if it's the thing that makes reading so nice, right? The more you read, the more fun all the other stuff that you do becomes, and as a result, as much as I can, I try to engage with some of the ideas that the games are presenting with me. Although I also recognize like there's limits in terms of how much I can appreciate. There's a lot of books in the world, and there's certainly I certainly know that there's going to be a limit in terms of how much I can sort of expect to understand myself. Indeed. Anyway, what I'm going to do here, just in case there are... I'm going to disable brick production. I don't really need to because I don't have people working this. I'm going to start, as much as I can, building towards training gear. And that's going to be used as an input in the clan hall so that we can satisfy brawling, and that will hopefully raise the satisfaction of the harpies and the lizards. And if I need, that'll give me the ticking reputation to bring me over the edge. Like I said, this is more of a question of being able to manage the last 0.75%. As long as I can reduce this down to 1 point that I need, I just need to crash into 3 dangerous glades, and we win. And now that the storm's coming, we're not going to follow up on those glades. Okay, so this is going to be a lot more about just hunkering down and making sure we can survive the downpour. If we lose some people, that's a shame, but we're not sunk if it comes down to it. Probably could do more production though. So we're almost halfway through. Harpies are starting to tick down, but we've got 45 more seconds left. So we'll do the same trick if it comes down to it. We'll do lighter treatment at the last possible second, because I suspect we can get by without annoying lizards. Yeah. We need that number to go up for a bit. Once the storm's done, then we turn off lighter treatment. We can actually probably do that now. Alright, everybody's back in good spirits. Friendly relations. Boost global resolve by 1 for every 3 levels of standing with other settlements in trade routes. Well, I don't have any trade routes. Route delivery line, 3 routes per minute, and gain 5 pigment for every 10 insects produced. Let's just have the routes come in. I don't think I'll take advantage of that, but you never know. And how are we on traders? So 33 seconds now. I believe Sothur did have tools for us last time, so we may get lucky. In the meantime, I'm going to clear out what I can. We need at least 2 more glades, and then we can start thinking about the dangerous glades just shortly after that. A lot of this is going to rest on what the merchant brings, though. If the merchant brings it, we're good. Damn. There is something of an argument for us to stock up on the training gear, though. So what's that going to cost me? Not that much. So I can clear him out and pay him entirely in amber. Interesting. So, with that in mind, this may be a bit premature, but here's what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to take a shot at... Oh man, how do I... Okay, I got to think about how I'm going to make these numbers work. So what I'm trying to do is... Okay, let's kill the lumber mill. Weaver still needs to be producing something for the fights. I need people working in the cookhouse to make skewers. So what I'm trying to do here is make the harpies as happy as possible by satisfying, like, brawling and... I'll even give them lighter treatment if it comes to it, but the lizards might be happy with some of this as well. So I think we're just going to speed things up to see whether or not we have any luck with those numbers. Tough a crowd. Okay, so 17 will make them sufficiently happy. Actually, it looks like they're already on their way to a natural 15, so we're just going to let that run. And we have 10 minutes. Okay, 10 minutes before Zorg, but I can, for half a displeasure, we'll call immediately. So the reason I do this is because we know we're close to a win, and it's really these tools that I need. So in this case, that's a point where the like either we're gonna win or there's nothing. Like it's the impatience was already gonna undo me. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna overdo it on the simple tools just because again I've got the amber to spare. But this should be a win for us. So we'll run with that. We will... Okay, now I need to find people to do the work. So we'll get rid of the stone cutter. We will get someone to work on the abandoned cache. Send that to the Citadel. We may not even need to worry about the dangerous glades. Oh, good news. Let's bring in the lizards. So first thing we can do is add some bodies to the cache. Alright, so now it's just a matter of finishing off the dangerous glades. So we're going to move this woodcutter's camp up here. Whether or not I do the events, it's kind of a separate question at this point. We will move you off to the side. Okay, so 1 point coming in from completing the large abandoned cache. However much coming in from keeping the lizards and the harpies happy. And what else? First of all, let's get more lizards working on the... Yeah, basically at this point we want to make a beeline for the dangerous glades so we can turn in playing with fire if we have to. Technically would actually make sense for me to build a third... it would make sense for me to build a third, like, woodcutter's camp. But as you can see, the numbers are in my favor. We're actually very close to 13, and as soon as we get 13, we just need that large abandoned cache to win the day. So I'm pretty sure we've just got our 1 here. Full disclosure, you are initiated in Brahmana in the Gaudiya disciplic succession, but I have and still identify as a Christian. I have been curious the way that the original language of the Bible was being presented. What really attracted you in your later life, around 18 years old, was how non-sectarian the association is, and how the succession that I have surrendered to is recorded to be unbroken. That's interesting. I mean, it definitely from kind of our conversations during the streams, it's very clear you're knowledgeable about an entire sort of field. It feels bad to call it a field, but that's the best that I have to work with. But obviously, I was dealing with sort of a level of knowledge that was certainly far beyond anything that I could sort of call on for myself, which I found really interesting. And I actually appreciated you sharing a lot of it. And again, this is one of the things we talked a little bit about it on Friday's broadcast, just in terms of how it, for one reason or another, seems to have kind of crept up each time I wind up sort of following my own studies. For one reason or another, some of these concepts would sort of come up in terms of the different lectures and the different conferences that I wound up going into. But again, there's only so much familiarity that I have directly with these things. So it's always appreciated basically to be able to encounter people who are maybe, have either their own experience or their own interests, and to be able to sort of use that to sort of raise the level, or at the very least make me aware of some of the things that I don't know. Now, I'm sorry to go from that to to the game, but this is going to be a tricky one. So termite infestation, harvesting and planting are 70% slower. That's fine. Agitated termites can be a real nuisance, -7 to global resolve. Now that's going to be a problem during the... Jesus Christ. Okay. Nothing can stop a hungry stone termite from feeding. So we've got what we need from the resolve. We are going to lose a bit by doing this event, but I think this is the right call. So let's take a second here. We'll take you out of the herbalist camp because that's not immediately important. 330 for some misery. Termite nest harmony, contains stone-tooth termite barrow. It now serves as a source of edible insects. Counts as 4 decorations of its type. Cute, but maybe we'll salvage it for the goods. Okay, so again, happiness is going to go down, but we have expectations that we should win in a minute anyway. And if I could try and restore the tavern, but we won't worry about that quite yet. There we go. We got it. I was definitely not expecting that to... Well, actually, you know what? This really comes back to what I like the most about Against the Storm. You can remember, halfway, maybe even 3/4 of the way through this, I was saying, I'm not really sure I've got what it takes to see this thing through. And that's happened the last few times that I've gotten a win like this. I think part of it is because you keep seeing the impatience level creep up, but of course, when you gain points, it does knock the impatience down. So that was definitely something that helped. Yeah, I don't know. I also feel like I need to trust the process a little bit better. I think knowing that I can handle most dangerous glades as long as I've got a good foundation of resources I feel like I undervalue my ability to do that. Anyway, settlement complete. The village's position has been secured. You can now choose to leave or continue to play on this map, but any additional deeds won't be completed, and you will not earn any more experience points or Citadel resources. So you get 140 experience points for that. We're at level 7 already, 76. So we kind of wanted to maximize in terms of food stockpiles at a difficulty that I felt I could achieve. Our score is 10-15, so first of all we got a win. Reputation's 14, impatience left 5. Orders completed 7, regular events completed 11, dangerous events completed 4. Kind soul, this is for not losing any villagers to death. Just in time finished before year 8, and entrepreneur finished the game with 50 amber. We also completed some deeds, so the marshlands win a game on the marshlands biome. I believe the last time we did the marshlands we lost in a pretty embarrassing way. Royal Outpost win a game near the Royal Outpost modifier. Now, as far as I can tell, the Royal Outpost was not in the game the last time I played this. And rolling in wealth, trade goods worth 1,500 amber. I wasn't expecting to do that much trading, but I know we did rely on it quite a bit. So it is kind of fun to continue with settlements, but honestly I like going back to the world map and checking things out. Now, I realize I keep mentioning this book over and over again, but how many people here are familiar with the book, The Three Body Problem? I can actually get the... I own it now, so... I don't know if this is an inspiration for the game or not. So I don't know the full pronunciation here, but I believe it's Shijin Liu. It's the first of a trilogy. I haven't read any of the others, so let me just see what I can. I'll do the. It's basically got back. It's got quotes on the back. It's not the usual summary. Although the people who've endorsed it, wildly imaginative President Barack Obama, experienced beloved science fiction author Shijin Liu's award-winning and best-selling masterpiece, The Three Body Problem, a groundbreaking novel of enormous scope and vision. Wall Street Journal, The War of the Worlds for the 21st Century, packed with a sense of wonder. George R.R. Martin, a breakthrough book, a unique blend of scientific and philosophical speculation, politics and history, conspiracy theory and cosmology. The Washington Post tackles politics, philosophy, and virtual reality in a story that moves at a thriller's pace. And NPR, Stunning, Elegant, a science fiction epic of the most profound kind. So I'm curious how they summarize it here. So, set against the backdrop of China's Cultural Revolution, a secret military project sends signals into space in an attempt to make contact with aliens, and they succeed. An alien civilization on the brink of destruction captures the signal and plans to invade Earth. Now on Earth, different camps start forming, planning to either welcome the superior beings and help them take over the world seen as corrupt, or fight against the invasion. The result is a science fiction masterpiece of enormous scope and vision. So it actually kind of sounds... It's funny to bring this up in reference to Against the Storm when it feels like Terra Invicta is a more appropriate one. But what's neat about this one, there's this species known as the Trisolarans in it, and they live on this planet. You may get this from the name. It has 3 suns, and what's neat about this one, there's this kind of virtual reality game which creates this sort of understanding of the Trisolarans, where you wind up trying to solve the 3-body problem to essentially sort of what they're trying to do is predict the seasons, because if you have, I think, all 3 suns in the sky, you just can't sustain any kind of a civilization. So everybody sort of just rolls up in these sort of dried out husks, and sort of waits to be sort of watered and brought back when the suns are low. So essentially here, the ability to figure out when it's safe and when it isn't is a big deal, and you can have these great ages of great cultural flourishing. But if you fail to appropriately predict when, you know, the terrible event is going to happen, all of it's for naught, right? And so this is one of the things, like, this is kind of how the main character sort of finds out about the aliens. It's interesting to read the summary, because that's not how I would have originally summarized the book. But there's a reason I bought it again. I want to read it again. Just give me a second so I can put it back on my pile. But the descriptions of this virtual reality game, and ultimately Civilization, to like have this idea of spending this time building out where you can, sort of knowing that the storm's going to come and sort of wipe everything away. I don't know if that was like a deliberate choice that was made inside of this game here, but it does actually remind me a lot of the 3-body problem, in the sense that, you know, like I guess in this case, you get a bit of a sense in terms of how long the cycle is going to be going, but just the fact that you've got this kind of connection, or this, not connection, but like you've got this effort to try and build something, right? To do the work of the smoldering city in the short time that you have, and sort of knowing that it's all going to fall apart to this cataclysm. But you still do the work anyway. I've never been able to sort of keep that idea out of my head while I play this game, like while I'm doing Against the Storm. So, you know, again, I could be completely off base in terms of drawing that connection, but sounds like planning from Phantom Brigade. God, I like Phantom Brigade. But yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just one of these things, especially, I guess, I think it's just because I've done a couple of cycles now. It was one that was sort of hard for me to escape, but it does make a little more sense if you've read the book, so I probably should have come up with a better summary ahead of time. Anyways, I don't think I have enough time to start another settlement. However, we can go to the smoldering city and spend some of our hard-earned food. First of all, we've got some deeds, so win a game on the marshlands, so we'll complete that. Royal Outpost, win a game near a Royal Outpost modifier. That's another 50 for me, so we're now level 8. New citadel upgrades, Apothecary, Smithy, Forester's Hut, Market, Smuggler's Visit, and Stormwalker Training. Your villagers learn how to travel the wilderness from the very best, the Royal Stormwalkers. All trade routes are faster by 40%. I really have not been able to make progress with trade. That's maybe something I want to work on in some future runs. Rolling in wealth, that's another 50 XP. Mostly interested in the upgrades, though. So definitely there's machinery and artifacts that I need for most of the upgrades I'm looking for here. The other ones... Yeah, so... First on headquarters, 1% boost for the chance of attaining bonus production yields, new embarkation bonus, vegetables, and meat. That leads to... Okay. So basically this will help me out in terms of those chances for better goods. Plus 2% burning duration, embarkation of coal. Queen's Patience permanence minus 2% to the speed at which the Queen's Impatience grows. You can extract infused rainwater from geysers located in glades and use it to power rain engines. Now, we still haven't really made that much use out of the rain. But I'm slightly inclined towards this, one, because of Queen's Patience, but also because of the rain punk engines. That seems like something that would be useful. Quicker trader arrival, that's tempting. All traders will have +1 cornerstone. Well, I never use the cornerstones or blueprints that the traders give us. So let's start by getting the Obsidian Archive. So we've got 46 left, so I can go for Obsidian Archive level 7. Factions, fundamental upgrade factions will settle the world map alongside you. You can set up trade routes with their towns and compete with them for bonus resources at the end of a cycle. Oh man, that actually sounds like it unlocks a lot of gameplay. Okay, I actually really like the idea of doing some of these other things, but I feel like I should catch up on some of my other upgrades first. So we will do first on headquarters. And of course that cuts me off from everything else, right? We need 36 for the remainder, but that's fine. Yeah, that's God, there's a lot of this game. I'm also wondering if there's something that will so one of the things I'm trying to get a read on for this game here is that, as you can see, like, there's a bunch of the little question marks on the map, right? So there's lots to explore. Now, the fact of the matter is, like, we've gotten 2 settlements down, and we're not that far away from the smoldering city. And I mean, I think Ema was about as far as we could go away without... Yeah, so 1, 2... Yeah, this is about as far away as we can go from the smoldering city on the starting turn. So it seemed to me pretty impractical to see what's at the far right-hand side here. So that makes me feel like there's something that will either allow the cycle to be delayed, or there's going to be something that creates some sense of permanence on the map. And I haven't quite figured out how that works yet. And to be honest, I'm not quite sure what I want to do for my next expedition. So, as I've said before, I do like the idea of maximizing the food that I come away with, because of course that allows me to sort of expand the smoldering city. I don't think we have any options in terms of like gears or any other sort of special collections. So I'm mildly tempted to go here just so we can try and see what this question mark is. So now this gives me the marshlands again compared to something like the Scarlet Orchard. But that's kind of where I'm thinking right now. I'm a little more reluctant to do these areas just simply because there's overlap with the hexes, and so that's going to reduce the amount of food that I get. But like I said, that's going to be something that I plan for the next time. I'm really, really happy I played this today. I am sorry that I'm ending a couple of minutes early, but there's a reason why I really wanted to play this again. Let's take a quick minute, actually, because I'm wrapping up. You can take a quick look at the roadmap and see where things are going. So we've got Scarlet Orchard, unique biome mechanic, new system. I don't know what new system means. Blight Rot system evolution, new modifiers. So 5th playable species, new glade events, metal and mining branch evolution, new perks, new buildings, new orders, new decorations, Twitch integration, tutorial improvements, UI UX improvements, and community requested features. I am really interested in seeing how the Twitch integration is going to work. I actually feel like this is a game that would work quite well with Twitch integration, but I do fear what you all are going to do to me using that. But both, I'm grateful to Hooded Horse for, sending out the key for Against the Storm. I'm not necessarily going to keep this from... I'm not necessarily going to, make this a replacement for Terra Invicta. I'll maybe try and do that within the next, a week. Next week, if I'm feeling better, Terra Invicta, because I do want to make progress on that. But if I need something a little bit more relaxed, I actually feel like this did a nice job of kind of... This really hit the spot in terms of just where I needed to be today. And I hope you all enjoyed the more relaxing atmosphere as well. Let's try and find someone playing Against the Storm to host. It says, against the Iron Storm, Dread Canary. As always, there's a caution that I have here. I don't really know... Oh. You know what? It's alright. It says follower, subscriber only chat. It's absolutely no problem with that, but not the sort of thing I want to raid into. So what's Dendrian doing? All right, so Dendrian has not isolated their chat to follows or subs. So this one says Iron Man challenge, race to 20, lose and delete the file. Oh man, so it sounds like they know this game very well based on how they're doing the challenge. But anyways, Against the Storm, I like this a lot. Again, I'm very grateful to Hooded Horse for sending that off. The disclaimer is always, I usually don't know the people that I'm hosting into, so I do hope that I do hope that you enjoy it, but I do feel the need to just sort of caution, if they wind up being someone who's not an upright individual, please don't take this as an endorsement. On the other hand, it's always good to assume the best, so they at the very least have a good taste in video games. As for me, Wednesday I'll be back with Phantom Brigade, and Friday may do more Against the Storm, may do Cyberpunk, may do whatever. It kind of depends on how I'm feeling. Like I said, it's been a tough couple of weeks, so we'll see where everything goes. In any case, I've talked too much. Have a lovely evening. We'll see you in a couple days, and please enjoy some more Against the Storm with Dendrin.